draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with the cord which thou lettest down? Didst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, which are together as with a close seal. What is so near to another that no air can come between? They are joined one to another. They stick together, but they cannot be sundered. By his sneezings, a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Slingstones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be horrid. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride.
Alright, Shalom. Call Loyam, Layahal Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to my teachers. Start with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatham to the hopefully elect. Excuse me. Alright, so basically, man, just real quick. Slakia, allergies are acting up a bit, but nevertheless, gonna try to get this out, go through this fairly quickly, But yeah, man, pretty much just touching on, the real Godzilla. Alright, the real king of the monsters. Just going into the Leviathan, alright, which, the clip that I played, man, it's good, very good visuals and whatnot. And even though he went through pretty much, commentated through the whole Joe 41, I'm gonna still go through it and just provide a little more detail, Lord's will. This is edifying, because again, pretty much Godzilla is based off a real, it's based off the scriptures, which is again what I'm gonna touch on here in this video. All right, but I'm get right into it. In Job 41, in verse 1, it says, "Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down. All right, because, and that's a rhetorical question. All right, because pretty much the answer, all in all, is no. All right, because again, a Leviathan is a creature, man. Because I mentioned the video. I mentioned in the video that I did with the about the review. All right, the Godzilla versus King Kong movie review, pretty much. And I mentioned the fact about how Godzilla, man, or the real Godzilla, which Leviathan, all right, which is what I'm reading on. It's a creature that can't be matched. It can't be touched. All right. Because for one thing, Esau, man, Esau, they like to, pretty much, you know how Esau is, man. They like to capture all the animals and the sea creatures and things of that nature, and this is why I said, because this is a rhetorical question, all right? Because again, reading verse 1, it says, Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? All right, and again, the answer is no. All right, because this, concerning the Leviathan, this isn't some creature you can just, fish for. This isn't some creature that you can just, like it says here, man, just draw it with a hook. All right, with all the machines, that technology, the technology that Esau has and whatnot, they're able to pull out, whales and stuff like that, But again, when it comes to the Leviathan, this is far from the case. All right, because again, Leviathan isn't a creature that you just stumble across every day. All right. Reading on, it says, Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? All right. And again, the answer is no. All right, because let's just say hypothetically Esau was able to do so with the Leviathan. All right. I mean, well, because it pretty much touches on it here, because like I mentioned, Esau, man, they like to pretty much, dig out all the sea creatures and whatnot. They like to, make merchandise, because that's what it's about for Esau at the end of the day. Everything's about money. So, like I said, if hypothetically, if Esau could, he would pretty much, just put the Leviathan on display. All right, probably set him up in a museum or whatever the case may be. For money grab. So on and so forth. But again, because that's far from the case with the Leviathan. All right, this isn't some creature you can just fish out of the ocean and just take out of the oceans, take out of the waters, and make merchandise, and chop them up and sell them for parts and food and stuff. And then no, the Leviathan, this isn't something that you can just do with the Leviathan. All right. It says, will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? And again, the answer is no. All right. When it comes to the Leviathan, this isn't a creature you can reason with. All right. You can't make an agreement or a covenant or anything like that. You can't do that with the Leviathan. All right, because this is one of the, and I believe it does say it in this chapter, but pretty much when it comes to the Leviathan, this is as far as all the animals and the creatures and beasts and things of that nature, Leviathan is a top. He's the top creature that Yahweh Shem Yahushai made. He's the pet of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, out of all the creatures that Yahweh Shem Yahushai made, Leviathan, he's on the top of the food chain. All right, so again, man, because talk about the king of the jungle, right? Which would be the lion, right? Well, Leviathan, he's the king of them all. He's the real king of the monsters, so to say. All right. It says, will thou play with him as with a bird, or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? And like I said, because if Esau had his way, all right, Esau, man, he would capture the Leviathan, he would set him up, put him on display, all right, probably chop them up, sell them for parts, sell them for food and meat markets and stuff like that, man. Or probably just hang them up because Esau, man, they like to capture animals and just they pretty much like to kill for sport, man. They kill for fun, and hang them up on their walls as a trophy, and like I said, if Esau had it his way, this is how they would treat the Leviathan. But again, this is far from the case with the Leviathan. You can't do this with the Leviathan. All right. It says, "Kins, thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?" All right, because again, knowing Esau, all right, and the devil that he is, if he had it his way, all right, these are the things that he would do to the Leviathan. He would destroy the Leviathan. All right, and all of the Leviathans, because I'm sure that there isn't just one Leviathan. I'm sure there's a family of them. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. But again, for one thing, man, because when it comes to the Leviathan, this is a creature, man. Just the sight of him alone is gonna, the scriptures talk about how, man, because there's certain creatures, man, you look at and you just like, damn, like you look at, I always use a comparison of, just look up something called the anglerfish. All right, that's a creature that looks very terrifying. As small of a fish as it is, all right, as small of a specimen as it is, man, that's a very terrifying looking creature. All right, because for one thing about those oceans, man, all right, and because again, Esau, man, like I said here, it says the hope of him is in vain, because for one thing, Esau, man, they do all their deep diving and try to discover all the four corners of the earth, and they always going into the depths of the sea and stuff like that, man. When that's all gonna be in vain, because for one thing, man, you're never gonna talking about Esau, he's never going to fully discover the bottom of the ocean. All right, that's one thing Esau's never going to accomplish. All right, the earth itself, man. Esau hasn't even fully discovered the earth. All right, because despite what they tell you, man, the earth is much bigger than what they say it is. All right, and there's more. For one thing, man, there's more ocean, there's more water than earth. All right, so if they haven't fully discovered the earth, man, how much more, the depths of the sea, which again, that's something that Esau will never be able to fully discover. He'll never fully, come to the full understanding on, as far as the depths of the sea. All right, because I was gonna say, man, when it comes to those oceans, man, it can get pretty eerie down there, man, because the deeper that you go down there, man, the more pretty much, man, like the example that I used, the anglerfish, that's something that lives pretty deep, and the deeper that you get down there in those oceans, man, the more creepier those creatures they get, man. The more scarier they look, man. And that's all. This is all the creation of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. So just looking at something like the anglerfish, all right. Because again, look up the anglerfish, man. That's that fish, man. It looks hella creepy. How much more the Leviathan, all right? Because there's things, man, we look at today and we look like. There's certain things, man, we look at today, man, it'll make us turn the other way. It'll make us run in the other direction. Here it is, a lot of people, they're afraid of spiders and snakes and stuff like that, right? How much more the Leviathan, all right? Because again, the Leviathan is a dreadful creature, man. It's a terrifying creature. And like I said, just the sight of him alone, just looking at him alone, man, it's enough that when he reveals himself, right? Because he will reveal himself in these last days. All right. And when he does reveal himself, the sight of him alone is going to pretty much cause people to die out of fear. All right. People's hearts are literally going to stop people's hearts are literally going to stop beating. All right, and they're going to die of cardiac arrest and whatnot, man. People are going to be dying of heart attacks just looking at this dreadful creature. All right. So verse 9 again, it says, "Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?" All right, because again, as far as the Leviathan, man, he can't be caught, he can't be captured, he can't be, reeled in with a big ass fishing pole or whatever. That's far from the case with the Leviathan for Esau. So his hope is in vain, because again, Esau, man, believe it or not, man, they're down there. Well, I'm not saying that they're, because for one thing, man, the Esau's never gonna be able to fully reach the bottom of the ocean. That's something that he's never gonna be able to accomplish. All right, the Lord only allowed him to go so far. All right, and with that, because being the prideful devil that he is, man, that's not going to stop him from trying. All right, and discovering all these new creatures and whatnot, and capturing them, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the Leviathan, all right, that hope is going to be in vain. All right, because Esau's never going to be able to capture a Leviathan. He's never going to be able to kill a Leviathan. All right, he's never going to be able to display a Leviathan. All right, and make merchandise out of him. Esau is never going to be able to accomplish that. So verse 10, it says, "None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stay before him?" Yeah, all right, because again, just stressing the point that, when it comes to the Leviathan, this is a very dreadful creature, man. This like they portray in the movies, the Godzilla movies, man. When a Godzilla shows up, man, pretty much, man, who can stand up against who can stand up against Godzilla, man? No one. And that's how it is with the Leviathan, man. Nothing can, stand up against the Leviathan. All right, nothing can scare the Leviathan. All right, it's a very fierce creature, man. It says, "Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine." All right, because again, this is a creature as dreadful as it is, as untouchable as the Leviathan is. All right, because again, he is untouchable. Leviathan cannot be matched with any type of weapons. All right, no matter how many nukes they throw at the Leviathan, or none of that stuff phases the Leviathan. All right, this is a unbeatable creature, man. This is a creature, man. If he showed up on the earth right now, if he showed up in America right now, man, this whole place would be done. All right, but as dreadful of a creature as the Leviathan is, he's nothing more than another creation of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, because like I said here, man, all things under the heaven, it belongs to Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, because again, the Leviathan is not, he's a pet for the Heavenly Father. All right, he obeys the Heavenly Father. All right, he takes orders from Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. It says, "I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double girdle or bridle?" It says, "Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about." All right, and a good. Well, I'm not even gonna say a good depiction, because a lot of these movies, no matter how good the effects are, the CGI effects are in these movies, it's never gonna compare to how the Leviathan really, how terrible he looks. Because I was gonna say, you watch that movie with I think it's called Underwater. All right, where basically they basically, so it's another one of those movies about the Leviathan. All right, and and you watch that movie. All right, they pretty much reveal this creature. All right, with and it pretty much describes this scripture right here with the teeth round about. All right, because again, you watch that creature, you watch that movie, and at the end, it reveals this massive creature, which again is is based off the Leviathan. All right, then watch the movie, man. It was a a dreadful looking creature, But like I said, no matter how good the CGI effects are in these movies, man, it's never going to really compare to how dreadful the Leviathan looks. All right, because verse 14 again, it says, "Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about." All right, so amen. Well, again, I think it's in this same chapter, but it talks about how Leviathan, man, yeah, I think it's in the same chapter. I'm going to keep reading on. It says, his scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. All right. It says, one is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. All right. And pretty much just going into, because Leviathan, again, it's a creature that, you know, he rules the oceans. He you know, because again, when you go in the ocean, when you know, the further you get in the oceans, you know, tighter the pressure, the more the pressure. All right. You know, that's why I said, man, you know, because man can only go so far down into the depths of the ocean. You know, you end up getting crushed. You know, that's why Esau, man, they sent all their submarines and all the machines and whatnot. But even with that, it can only go so far. All right, because again, the pressure, you know, because like I said, you know, the deeper you get down there, man, the more pressure it is. You know, but as far as with the Leviathan, all right, you know, I mean, that's nothing to the Leviathan, all right, you know, and that's because, again, you know, his scales are so tightly, you know, the Yahweh Shemel Shai created the Leviathan he created him to be able to withstand that type of pressure, all right, because again, the Leviathan is a creature that, you know, rules in the depths of the oceans. He you know, he can. You know, he lives in the ocean, so it would only make sense that, you know, he would be able to, you know, have his skin, so to say, would be able to withstand that type of pressure. All right. It says, by verse 18, by his nestlings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. All right. And again, just like the depiction they depict with the Godzilla movies. All right, Godzilla is a creature. All right, you know, his eyes lights up when he, you know, he's about to shoot his what is it, his you know, his beam or his fire, so to say. Right, you know, his eyes lights up. All right, showing you that you know, when they make these movies, man, it's based off the scriptures. All right, because when you read on, it says, verse 20 says, out of his nostrils. Verse 19, it says, out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. All right, because again, Leviathan is a creature. He's a fire-breathing creature, so to say. All right, and his eyes light up when he does so. All right, a fire-breathing serpent that rules in the depths of the sea, just to show you how magnificent when it comes to Yahweh Shemel Shine, his creation. All right, because again, for one thing, when it comes to the ocean, man, all right, because also the deeper you get down there, all right, the colder it gets. All right, you know, freezing temperatures and whatnot. But here it is. This creature he can breathe fire underwater. All right, now remember, the Leviathan, he's a creature that, you know, he lives in the deepest parts of the ocean. All right, as deep as the ocean goes, all the way to the ocean floor. All right, the Leviathan is down there. All right, and it's nothing to him. You know, the pressure down there is nothing to him. And not only that, he can breathe fire underwater. To show you how magnificent when it comes to how Yahweh Shemel Shah, how he operates. All right, this is a fire breathing serpent that lives underwater. So you see, Yahweh Shemel Shai is cold, man. The Heavenly Father is cold. Verse 20 says, out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. All right, again, a fire-breathing serpent. All right, you know, because it talks about how the Leviathan, man, he again, as cold as it gets, the deeper you go in the oceans, the colder it gets. All right, but here it is when it comes to the Leviathan, he boils the water. You know, he boils it up, you know, like a boiling pot. You know, Leviathan boils the water around him. You know, and you know, presume that's pretty much how, you know, the Leviathan, he keeps himself warm, so to say. All right, he's able to boil the water around him. All right, again, because he's a fire-breathing serpent. It says, verse 22 says, his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. All right. Again, man, because again, when it comes to the Leviathan, man, his skin is tough. All right, everything about the Leviathan, man, it has a stony heart. All right, and again, this is what they show in the movies. Like fire-breathing dragons, right? A lot of times, they show the medieval times. They, fighting the fire-breathing dragon and whatnot. They shoot the arrow in their heart, and comes to find out that the heart is, the dragon has a stone of heart, or he has a heart of stone and whatnot. Just to show how, again, all these movies and whatnot, man, all these depictions, they get it from the scriptures, man. Because Esau, for one thing, he's not an originator, all right? He comes up with nothing on his own, all right? Even when it comes to the wickedness, all right? Because Esau isn't even an originator when it comes to sin, and the wickedness that he does, because originally, when you hear about all this sin and all these gods and all these, false idols and whatnot, stuff goes back to the Canaanites. That's, typically, that's pretty much where the stuff came from, which is why America is known as spiritual Egypt, because there's a lot of symbolism here in America that, goes back to ancient Egypt, all right? Like the back of the dollar bills, and just everything that Esau does, man, it comes from somewhere. All right, even the wickedness that he promotes, you know. So this is all the stuff, man, that Esau, all these movies and whatnot, man, they get all the stuff from the scriptures, because he's not an originator. Godzilla isn't some creature that they just came up with. All right, this is based off the scriptures, as well as all these other sea creatures, like, in the clip that I played, they showed the Kraken. All right, that's based off the Leviathan. All right, it says on verse 25, it says, when he raises up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. All right, because again, when it comes to the Leviathan, man, when he raises up, man, and he makes himself known. All right, whoever standing in his way, man, it's not gonna be pretty, man. It's not gonna work out to their favor, because the Leviathan, man, he can't be touched. All right, again, like I said here, man, just the sight of him alone it's enough to where, hey, man, people are gonna end up dying just by the sight of him. It says, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the harbinger. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. All right. And again, pretty much, that's just going into all the, it's just going into pretty much, to put it in modern terms, all the guns. If Leviathan were to show up here right now, all right, what would Esau do? He would send his tanks, all right, all type of high caliber weapons, and just all type of stuff, man. Energized weapons, all right, because Esau has energized, what do they call it, the direct energy weapons. Esau has all type of stuff, nukes, all right, but none of that stuff is going to phase Leviathan at all whatsoever. All right, he laughs at that stuff. He esteems straw he esteems iron like rotten wood, man. He breaks it like it's nothing. He breaks steel like nothing, and steel is one of the strongest metals out there. All right, the strongest metals out there that Esau has, man, the Leviathan, man, he breaks it like rotten wood. He breaks it like a toothpick. It's nothing to him. All right, all the stuff he laughs at. And again, they show that in the movies, the Godzilla movies. Whenever Godzilla shows up on the scene, and they're all shooting their guns or whatnot, it doesn't phase the Leviathan. It doesn't, he laughs at that stuff. Well, talking about the movies, it doesn't phase Godzilla. All right, he just goes on about his business or whatnot, like it's nothing. All right. But when it comes to the Leviathan, man, again, you know, this is because it is nothing to the Leviathan. All right, he laughs at it. You know, verse 30, it says, "Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire." And pretty much again, because you know, the deeper you get down in the oceans, man, the more it's hectic down there, man. Just to put it like that. But nevertheless, you know, again, the Leviathan, you know, he's swimming down there. All right, you know, the stones under the sharp stones under him, and it's nothing to him. All right, because again, the Leviathan, he has impenetrable skin. His skin can't be penetrated whatsoever. So the sharp stones that, you know, when he's, you know, swimming down there and whatnot, all right, it's nothing to him, man. All right. But just to finish this out, it says verse 31, it says, "He maketh the deep to boil like a pot, he maketh the sea like a pot of ointment." All right. Again, going back to what I said earlier, you know, he boils the water around him. All right. Again, just to show you the how bad Yahweh Shemel Shai is. All right. With this creature, man. Because again, the deeper you go down there, man, the colder it gets. You know, it's freezing temperatures down there. All right. But when it comes to the Leviathan, it's nothing to the Leviathan. All right. He's able to warm himself up if he chooses to. It says, verse 32, "He maketh the path to shine after him, and one would think the deep to be hoary." All right. You know, because again, you know, with the Leviathan, man, he leaves a trail of just, I would just imagine like fire, man. He leaves a fiery trail, you know, wherever he swims, whenever he swims through, man, he just leaves a fiery trail. You know, that's badass. But it says, "Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is the king over all the children of pride." All right. And again, you know, I'm also talking about Esau because, you know, one of his titles, he's known as, all right, he's known as this is pretty much going into Esau. All right. Esau is that he's that proud. He's that proud, you know, that the scriptures often talk about. All right. And when the Leviathan makes his grand interest, man, all right, best believe, man, these people, man, especially Esau, all right, they're going to be turned into nothing. They're going to be made, because the scriptures talk about how the Lord's going to bring down the haughtiness of the pride, man. Roughly paraphrasing that, he's going to bring down the haughtiness of the pride, man. He's going to bring them low. And one of the ways he's going to do that is by revealing the Leviathan. All right. Because again, you know, soon, man, the Leviathan is going to make his grand entrance. You know, because you know, I'm sure he's made you know, entrances before and whatnot. Because the scriptures talk about how the Leviathan, man, he plays with ships and whatnot, man. He plays with ships and stuff like that. You know, so he's, you know, had encounters with mankind before and whatnot. You know, like I said, typically I could bet you this, man, it didn't work out to their favor. You know, because again, man, when it comes to Leviathan, I can't stress it enough. This is a creature. No matter what you throw at him, no matter how many nukes you put, you try to blast him with, you know, no matter what you try to do, man, to the Leviathan, he can't be phased, he can't be touched. All right, this is an unbeatable, unmatchable creature, man. You know, that's why I mentioned in the previous video that I did, going into the Godzilla versus King Kong movie. All right, you know, because they try to make it out to where, you know, it's pretty much like almost like an evened out match. All right. You know, because, you know, pretty much, man, creatures like King Kong, you know, stuff like that, man, you know, that's pretty much a figment of Esau's imagination. All right. You know, because again, Godzilla, he's the true king of the monsters. This is the top pet of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. And like I said here, man, you know, this is another one of those creatures of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, but here it is, because Esau, man, being that he's deceived by his own pride, all right, you know, they can't even touch the Leviathan, man. When the Leviathan shows up, man, he's gonna he's shutting all this shit up. So here it is with the Leviathan, man. Leviathan can't be touched. How much more Yahweh Shemel Shai? So this is what Esau doesn't get. If the Leviathan can't be touched, how much more If the Leviathan is a creature that can't be touched, unbeatable creature, a creature that'll pretty much, just the sight of him alone is gonna, end up killing a lot of people, man. People's hearts are gonna be dying. People are gonna be dying of heart attacks and stuff like that just by looking at him. How much more Yahweh Shemir Shai, you know? So, this is just something real quick, just going into, the real Godzilla based off the scriptures, the true king of the monsters. Probably do another video going into the Leviathan, because there are other precepts that go in, dealing with the Leviathan and whatnot. And top of that, something I've always been fascinated with. When it comes to the Leviathan, and stuff like that. So, whatever the spirit permits, Lord's will I'll be able to come back and get a more depth with it at another time. But hopefully, this was edifying in itself enough. Once again, let me give all credit and all acknowledgement to Yahweh Shemir Shai, double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.